If the Dangote Refinery is putting petroleum importation at an advantage, which means more fuel will come in through our shores rather than being refined locally, it means there will be more pressure on the FX, and then we might lose the small gain that the naira just got. So this is not what we want to see. And another thing that we need to look at is something that Dangote raised last year, which is the quality of fuel that is being brought into the country. Dangote has indicted NMDPRA for not having any world-class laboratory to test the quality of the fuel that come into the country.
This is Souq business landscape.
The landing cost of imported premium motor spirit (PMS) has fallen below the gantry price of petrol from the Dangote Petroleum Refinery, following a recent price hike by the facility. Now, the development marks a reversal in pricing dynamics that had favored local refinery and raised expectations of cheaper fuel supply. Data from Major Energy Marketers Association of Nigeria showed the landing cost of imported petrol stood at 728 naira 88 kobo per litre as of last week. The figure reflects prevailing international prices, freight, insurance, and port charges incurred by marketers. On Monday night, Dangote Refinery increased its gantry price from 699 naira to 799 naira per litre. The adjustment places the refinery's ex-depot price about 70 naira above the current landing cost of imported PMS, potentially reshaping sourcing decisions for fuel marketers nationwide. Analysts said the sustained pricing gaps could intensify competition, influence imports, and test domestic refinery economics under regulated market conditions nationwide today. Mokhtar, very good competition, I would say. But what do you think? What would this now mean for Dangote? Do you see him dropping? Do you see him maintaining his price? What about the importers? And how would this affect everyday life of the average citizen?
Dangote is doing a reverse, which is not good for everyday consumer, because increasing price from 699 to 799, that's not something that I want to see as a Nigerian. And not only that, he is now putting the marketers at an advantage. That is not what we want to see as a country, because it puts the economy in a difficult place. We're just celebrating the naira gain. But if the Dangote Refinery is putting petroleum importation at an advantage, which means more fuel will come in through our shores rather than being refined locally, it means there will be more pressure on the FX, and then we might lose the small gain that the naira just got. So this is not what we want to see. And another thing that we need to look at is something that Dangote raised last year, which is the quality of fuel that is being brought into the country. Dangote has indicted NMDPRA for not having any world-class laboratory to test the quality of the fuel that come into the country. And when you don't have a laboratory to be able to test the quality of fuel, it means you simply do not have a standard. Because if you have a standard and there's no yardstick or way for you to determine if people are actually selling standard or substandard, that poses a problem. In advanced country, we all know that there are classes of fuel. By the way, when you go to a gas station in the advanced country, sometimes you get up to 4 classes of fuel based on their sulfur content and the refining and even the crude itself. There's the burning light, there's the WTI. So these are all different grades of crude oil, and the quality is different. So he puts fuel in different grades and is sold at different prices, right? So sometimes when an importer bring in fuel, they might go to bring the worst kind of fuel there is for them to be able to beat prices. If the regulatory body, NMDPRA is the regulatory body for the downstream sector and the midstream sector. So if they are unable to test the kind of fuel that comes in and that is being sold to us that might, pose risk to our vehicles, to our generator, to whatever we use this fuel for, is dangerous. And in terms of keen competition like this, we know that businesses and businessmen, they manipulate quality. And this is where NMDPRA needs to stand firm to make sure that our health and our property, our cars is being protected by the kind of quality of fuel that is being sold to us. So, like I said at the beginning of this submission, Dangote has indicted them that they don't have any functional laboratory to be able to detect fuel quality. We want to see them come out to defend that. If they actually do not have, they need to put a laboratory in place and they need to start testing the kind of fuel that is being dumped into this country.
All right, coming to you, Doctor. One of the reasons why people patronize Dangote fuel from MRS is they talk about durability, it lasts longer. So do you think that Nigerians will be loyal enough to maintain patronizing from Dangote vis-a-vis getting cheaper fuel somewhere else?
Well, I don't think that there's any reason for people to worry. I've said it time and time again. Our president was clear what he wanted. He wanted a free market economy. Free entry, free exits. So people can determine what they want to buy and how they want to buy it. So if Dangote decide to raise the pump price of petrol by 100 naira, well, Nigerians are discriminated. So you talk about durability, how durable it is, because I really have not been able to experience it. As a person buying, if I buy a full tank from Dangote or buy from NNPC, exhausting time is almost at the same time. So I cannot actually say, because I don't know whether that has been scientifically proven, as it were. But you see, like I said, Nigerians or consumer anywhere in the world know how to discriminate. As I was passing through Alakpera yesterday, I saw that humongous queue that used to be there has disappeared. So they are going back to where they have value. Thank God that we have not monopolized the industry, so to say that importers was excluded from the business. Because tomorrow, a lot of dynamics can also change, and the cost of importation can go up, maybe as a result of geopolitics or power contests anywhere in the world, and therefore their own pump price can also rise. One thing Nigerians should bear in mind is that in a free market economy, prices are determined by the forces of the market. And so we must be able to accept it when prices go up, and when they come down, also rejoices also. So for me, how do consumers survive? We check where we have small value and then put our head in there. So you'll find that maybe today now the dynamics is going to change, because 1 naira means a lot to an average Nigerian. So people can go to where they can get that value. And if you want time, you get to where there's high value, you can queue and get. If you don't want time, then you can drive in and drive out. So these are all things that are available to the public. If there were no alternative, it would have been a source of worry. But now that there are alternatives, I think Nigerians just discriminate and get value anywhere they want to get it.
Do you see a reversal in the price? And also, a lot of people have, okay, now let's look at another angle. Import tariffs on petrol were suspended. And while some people said it was good, some people said it was bad, some people said tariffs should be placed on imported petrol so that it would encourage local refiners. Do you see that import tariff coming back? Or do you believe the government should just, let it go?
Yeah, but I think to a very large extent, government should not actually intervene too much in the market. My view, I believe that if there's going to be intervention, it should be just limited and not giving anybody an edge over another. These are people's businesses and their means of livelihood. So if you say you want to encourage local production, we also have to look at the capacity of this local production. And what if these people also decide tomorrow and say they want to take their things to where they have value? How do you survive? Because they are not under your beck and call. Dangote can say, okay, tomorrow I want to sell petrol to Afghanistan, and that's where I'm going to get value. You can't tell him because it's in Nigeria, you must sell to your market. You don't have control over it. So I think the things that are within our control, we can manage. Those that are outside of our control, we allow those forces to determine it. So here, Nigeria is wanting to import fuel, but government must also find a way to drive an equilibrium so that, yes, the industry at home is not overprotected. Because that's one big thing that we must also put to heart. Because once you overprotect industry, they cannot actually do well. And that has been the undoing of the major things that happened to us after the nationalization policy. We thought that we could do everything. And where are all those businesses now? They're all dead because there were no serious competition. So sometimes we must also realize that business must allow to compete in a global economy necessarily. So it's just like what we do with education. And say people, because they are educationally disadvantaged, then of course their qualification had to be minimal. And you forget that they are going to compete globally.
Yes.
And not just locally. So I feel that government should be able to moderate this and ensure that there are balance without necessarily benefiting one party over the other. But you also don't forget that sometime last year, Dangote actually mentioned that he was selling at a loss. He mentioned it, that he was selling at a loss. So maybe the chicks are coming to roost now. So we know what the actual price of petrol is. Because here at the heart of the competition, he tried to gain some market. Now he may not be able to carry the weight of those losses, and therefore maybe he had to price rightly. And then we cannot actually know what is the exact cost of PMS in the local market. And I think that would be just good for the industry. We don't want him to lose because a lot of people also have put money in that business and they are expecting dividend at the end of the year. And therefore, he can't sell at a loss perpetually. And so let the truth be put on the table so that people weigh it, and then we can have a market that is free of these shocks every day.